Hey y'all, it's Danny. So I don't always have a whole lot to say about a book, let alone something to make an entire video about, but I always have something to say. I actually don't have most of the books with me because they were either read on an ebook or the books that I own, they're at home. I'm actually on vacation. First book I read was Warcross, and y'all know how much I love Mary Lou, but I did not like this book. I really hated this book. So the story follows Amika Chen, who is set on a con to capture this invisible guy while she is forced to play in the game that's kind of like the Olympics but for video games. And I did not like Amika. I know Amika wasn't supposed to be a likable character. She's just kinda meh, but she felt really flat. She felt like the stereotypical I'm a badass female character. The reason why I love Mary Lou is because her characters progress the plot, but Amika didn't really do that. At least I didn't feel like it. She was also really edgy. I'm all for angsty teenagers, but that was a little bit too much. Hideo Tanaka is the man who created the whole video game, and he's super rich, pretty much a technological prodigy. He was really annoying. I did not find him charming at all. He reminded me a little bit too much of Christian Grey in the way that he spoiled Mika with all this stuff. A lot of people love Warcross because of the setting, and I hated it. Warcross's Tokyo felt incredibly flat. Like, I understand that it's a lot of neon colors, but the best characters in the book were the side characters, which is not good. It was Asher and Hammy. I loved them both. But we only got, like, not enough page time with them. Oh, and the plot was super predictable. I don't know if it's because I read all of Mary Lou's work, so I know what she's going to do, or if it was just genuinely bad. Zero is the criminal that Mika's trying to catch. I predicted who Zero was like right away, like even before we knew about Hideo's past. So yeah, I rated this 2 out of 5 stars. Next one was Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertai. I really liked this book. It was super cute. I thought I wasn't going to like this book because I'm not really into rom-com type of books. I don't like contemporary romance. That's just not what I'm for. Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. You probably heard of it. It follows Simon, who is in the closet, and he has this secret relationship with someone at his school who is also gay. They don't know each other. It's anonymous, and they both end up falling for each other. But then again, Simon is being blackmailed. Aside from just being great representation, it's also just an amazing book. Like, the prose was just so simplistic but beautiful. And I love how real the characters are. I love how loving they are to Simon. And frigging Martin. He was real though. He was like a real villain. And I really appreciate Martin just saying that he's not homophobic, but then doing really shitty stuff. The only problem I had, why it's not rated 5 stars, is because in the beginning of the novel, I had a hard time keeping up with all of these new characters being introduced all at once. It made me want to put the book down at one point. Next book I read was Harry Potter or the Order of the Phoenix. And I've never read the Harry Potter series in full. This is my first time reading it this year. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars because it was really awesome. I already knew I wasn't going to like Umbridge, but damn, what a bitch. The world building was fantastic. I think J.K. Rowling knew that, like, hey, we know enough about the wizarding world. You don't need to explain the basics, which is something I appreciate because I really hated rereading the same description of Gringotts every single book. The only reason why I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, it would have been a 5. There were some bits where I was like, ugh, I already read this already. I didn't explain Harry Potter or the Phoenix because I feel like a lot of people know that already. Next book I read, I actually just finished yesterday, was Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. If you don't know Peter Pan, I rated it 5 out of 5 stars because this is a reread for me, and Peter Pan is one of my favorite classics. I could go on for hours. Like, this could be a whole video by itself, but no one cares about that classic. It's just a masterpiece. I don't want to get into too much detail because then I'll just be ranting and it won't make that much sense. But I will say that the one thing that I really love is J.M. Barrie is able to immerse himself and become a child while he's writing, and you could really feel that J.M. Barrie really understands the mind of a child and the sort of innocent yet twisted aspects to it. Next book I read, I actually do have with me, Mine, by a bunch of different authors. Mine is a graphic novel. There's a different story every few pages. You can see this is one story and then this is another story. Just continuing. All the proceeds go to Planned Parenthood, which is fantastic. Mine is a bunch of comics about feminism and birth control and abortion and all that stuff, and it was fantastic. You know, like, it's super like PC. It even follows like gay relationships, and I believe that there was a couple that followed a relationship between a trans person and a cis person. They were both gay, and the cis person was being pretty transphobic, you know? And it's like one of those things that you don't really think about. You know, you don't think about that stuff because you think that they are just like weird stereotypes, but like, those kind of things happen, but denying that it happens is also hurting the people that's affected by it. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars because although I love most of the graphics in here, there were a couple short stories where I was like, how is this related? And that I didn't enjoy, but on the most part, I did enjoy pretty much all of it. The cover though, damn, look at this. It's so beautiful. Though I very much agree with a lot of what they said, it did feel pretty propaganda-y. I can see how they painted the protesters outside Planned Parenthood and how they made them look like literal trolls. Seems like fighting fire with fire. And then the next book I read, I finished yesterday, was Perfect by Ellen Hopkins. It's the second book to the Impulse duology. It's not really a duology, it's more of a companion. I did not like this book. I wanted to put it down. It follows 4 characters, Sean, Kara, Kendra, and Andre, who are both teenagers struggling to find their place in the world. Andre is stuck in an unhealthy relationship. Kara is coming to terms with coming out of the closet. Kendra has an eating disorder. Sean is also addicted to steroids. I didn't like this book because I didn't care for the characters. I could have related to Andre, I could have related to Kendra. Also, in the end, it just got worse. Like, I felt like the author was like, oh my god, I forgot to put all of this drama in, so she just tossed in a bunch of random deaths. In the end, one of them wasn't, but the others were. Like, they weren't that important to the plot. So why did you kill a character off? But that, 1, I don't care about, but 2, doesn't contribute anything to the plot or character development. Those are the last 6 books I've read, and it was okay. Like, a lot of it was good, but there was no middle ground. You either got a really good book or a really bad book. Subscribe down below, hit that bell icon if you want to be updated every time I upload. My social media links are in the description. Make sure to check out my website. I have a mailing list and a blog there, so that's super cool. And I'll see y'all soon. Bye!